Jambalaya is one of my favourite things from the Caribbean or Creole food. Lots of spices in it, lots of interesting ingredients. And I'm just going to make it today with some turkey, which is one of those meats that we don't often use. As they say, turkey's not just for Christmas. Now, what I'm going to do is cut it into small pieces. And nice little dice. I want it to cook fairly quickly and go all the way through the jambalaya. Now, the jambalaya is kind of like a soup sort of thing.
Yeah. Look, I've had this probably only about once or twice before, and I really liked it because it had so many different sort of spicy flavours to it.
Now, what I'll do is in my pan here, I'll put a good splush of extra virgin olive oil.
Lovely.
And I'll put my turkey straight into the pan. There we go. Look at that sizzle. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to add some salt, because salt loves meat, meat loves salt, and some pepper straight onto there. Now, this is really hot. We want to brown it off and get the flavour into the turkey. We've got plenty of heat in that one. Now, Zoe, while I'm doing this, I've got some red peppers there, or capsicum. If you can dice them up. I've got some tomatoes as well, if you can cut them into half, and some okra. About 2/3 of that, if you can slice it.
It's a great vegetable to use. It's got a slightly gelatinous nature to it. It's actually incredibly good for your digestive system. Anything that has that gelatinous nature actually is.
Oh, I love them. They also call them ladies' fingers as well, so I love them. Now, I've got some chorizo sausage here, and it's got a little bit of fat in it. What I want to do is throw the chorizo in here as well, so it fries up with the turkey, and you get lots of meaty flavour into the jambalaya. It's really, really important. And you can see I'm using a really good pan, plenty of surface area, so it can keep the heat and retain it and keep my turkey browning off nicely. Look at that. Looks great already. This is one of those dishes that I've seen. You go to a cafe or a restaurant in the States and they're cooking up a big jambalaya. They'll have a big pot boiling out the back and the chef is out there just throwing things into the pot, just adding things to it. And it's sort of like a build-up of lots of ingredients in there. In go the onions, and I've got some garlic cloves as well. 3 garlic cloves. I'm just going to smash them just like this and throw them straight into the pot. You know, I reckon it's like the minestrone of the Creole world. Just throw everything in and let it all happen. Bay leaf goes in there, and I've got some thyme as well. I'm just going to cut it up just really roughly and throw it into the pan. I've got some chilies. You need some chilies for some spice. So I've got a red and green chilli here, and I'll just cut them into chunks. So when we're spooning this out into the bowl, we can see there's plenty of chilli in there, and I can make sure that I put a couple of big pieces of chilli into your bowl. There we go.
You know how much I love chilli. It's great for the metabolism. Gets everything, that thermogenic property to it. Thermogenic
properties. That'll make sure that you get plenty of chilli into your bowl. I can guarantee that one. Now, I've got a celery stick. What I'm going to do is cut it into a dice. You can see a lot of the vegetables or the garnish that I'm putting into the jambalaya are all the same sort of size. So in goes the celery, and give that just a bit of a stir. Still plenty of heat in here, which is great. Now I'll start to spice it up. Now, I've got my Creole spice here, and this is made up of garlic powder, onion powder, some cayenne pepper, some powdered thyme, some powdered oregano, and a little bit of pepper as well.
Ooh, it smells good.
Don't get too close to it.
Woo!
It's one of those tricks. If you get close to it, I just tap the spoon, it goes into your face. That'd be a nasty thing to do. I would never do that to you, Zoe. And what I'm going to do is add about a tablespoon and a half into my mixture here, in with the turkey, and I'll fry that off.
There you go. See, that's karma.
Just as you do that, you will notice there is a lot of fumes from the chili. I'll add a little bit more oil in there just to get a bit more heat into it.
I've got these bellinos. Would you like me to cut them in half?
I would love you to cut them in half.
Wonderful, sweet tomatoes.
They're fantastic. Now, I'm going to add some tomato paste, which is another type of tomato. Now, the thing when you are using tomato paste, do fry it off a little bit, and that'll help to make it a little bit sweeter and take away that raw tomato sort of flavour. This sort of raw tomato is fantastic. This sort of raw tomato needs to be fried, just off in the pan a little bit. Now, Zoe, I'm going to start adding the rest of these. I've got the okra, the peppers, all the way through there like that. Now, just give that a bit of a stir around. Now, Zoe, if you can pass me the stock that's over there.
Can I pop that straight in?
Pour it in. I'll tell you when to stop.
How good does the colour look? Very Christmassy.
It does.
It green and red.
Looks fantastic. And that's 2 litres of stock in there, and you can see this will come up to the boil fairly quickly. Now, what I'll do is let this simmer away for about 10 to 15 minutes till everything's nicely cooked. I'll pop the lid on it, and when it's ready to serve, I'll throw some prawns in there, which will make it even more luscious. We'll put some chopped coriander, some chopped parsley in there, and this will be fantastic. Oh, look at that, Zoe.
Whoa, that smells good. You can really smell all the smoky, flavours and spices in there.
Fantastic. Now I'm just going to throw these prawns in. These are really large prawns. You can use a smaller one.
Okay.
And if we were in the Caribbean, we'd be calling them shrimp.
Shrimps, yes. It's so annoying. I always get it wrong when I'm in America.
The shrimps are just little things that we like to eat.
Yeah.
There we go. A little bit of salt in there and a little twist of pepper. Now the thing when you're cooking prawns or shrimp or whatever you want to call them, they only take a minute or so to cook. So you want to add them right at the last second and just stir them in. You can see they're already starting to cook. They'll turn red. They'll curl around on themselves. Now I'll add the chopped coriander and the parsley.
That coriander smells fantastic.
It does, doesn't it? But we just add that right at the end, so we got that lovely fresh flavour all the way through. And I reckon these prawns are just cooked. The thing about prawns that I say sometimes is when you think they're cooked, they were cooked a minute ago. So you never want to overcook prawns.
So true. That with all of those lovely oils, I think that goes for all fish, to be quite honest. Most people do tend to overcook.
There we go.
All right, bring it on.
You're clapping. You're really excited
I'm
about
excited.
This.
This is my kind of food. I love the flavours. I love the smokiness, the prawn. I mean, I love and don't love always eating chorizo, but this is going to be interesting, tasty.
If I serve this baby up to you, you're going to be straight into it, aren't you? You think it's delicious. Look at you.
I'll try the sauce first.
I'm incredible. You're just straight into it. You haven't even waited till I've got anywhere close to it, have you? Looks good, doesn't it?
Oh, that's beautiful. All of those herbs and spices. That is hot. Whoa.
It is hot and spicy. It looks good. The okra is great in it as well.
Love the okra.
The turkey's there. Apparently the turkey's the hero. Delicious. I love that.
How's that going for you? Nice and hot?
Oh, delicious. Really, really hot and spicy. I think I'm starting to sweat now. I think we've done a great dish. I'm very interested to see what your scallops are like next.